Advice around mental health is very basic. These consist of more exercise, eat better, sleep better, and reduce your stress. And if any of those are not working or you feel far worse than that, then to go and get professional help from a psychologist. These include treatments like medication as well as cognitive behavioral therapy. And with a bit of research, what you can see online are exercise plans, meal plans, meditation apps, which are all useful tools to tackle depression. However, to me, they don't seem to provide anything tangible on how you can apply it to your life. They're generally not individual, which means they don't take into consideration any of your personal circumstances. And then the worst bit is when you are severely depressed and you don't feel like there's any value in doing anything and you've lost interest in all the things that you used to have interest in, then suddenly doing a 5-day-a-week gym program is just an insurmountable task. Similarly, we find that we fall into this trap of needing to do some kind of huge achievement to snap out of this depressive state. This might mean going from no exercise at all to a full 5-day-a-week hour session at the gym, because that's what a famous fitness influencer told you to do. Or all the advice online says the only way to achieve an amazing physique that you feel like would cure your depression is only achievable with that level of effort. The problem is, as soon as we miss a gym session or fall off our diet plan, we immediately feel like a failure, and the shame and guilt surrounding that failure further exacerbates the depression. As a result, you are back in bed feeling no value and no sense of achievement or reward from trying to fix your situation. So this video is focused on how to actually apply these fundamentals to your life and start your journey of getting out of this depressive state. So the first point is what I like to call the art of showing up. When you're feeling depressed, everything feels like a challenge, and there is an enormous amount of pressure put on the outcome of the day. For instance, if you feel like it's a challenge to just get out of bed, you're generally bombarded with thoughts of how much you need to achieve that day, as well as all of the other thoughts around not being good enough, not seeing the point, and not wanting to do anything. So the first step is to eliminate all of the stress around the outcome and simply show up. We can create days with goals, but no obligation around the outcome of those goals. So if you play a sport on Tuesdays and you've been feeling like you don't want to go, it's very easy to fall into the trap of beating yourself up about how bad you're going to play, what people are going to think of you, how you're going to speak to the team. Just forget all of that. Interrupt the patterns in your head and say, none of that matters, I just have to get there. Remember, the thing with depression is getting out of bed and breaking the habit cycles is the battle. The rest of it can come later. Just show up. You will find that you'll start to feel better every day simply by getting out of the house and going to the things that you used to enjoy, regardless of how well you do them or how much you achieve while you're there. Simply show up. The next step is the concept of relative achievements. No matter how small the win is for you, celebrate and internalize that win. Depression is an emotive state. It's where there is an emotional detachment from all the things that you used to enjoy and from your inner world. So let's say it's taken you all of your energy to get out of bed and have a shower that day. Awesome. If that's something you couldn't do yesterday, then really feel and internalize that win. It doesn't matter if all you've achieved is having a shower that day, because for you, it's your relative achievement. It's relative to you. It's like doing a lift in the gym. If your personal best is 40 kilos on a lift, and the absolute unit next to you is doing 200 kilos, that doesn't take away from your achievement. You're all on your own journey. And as long as you keep progressing and improving and growing on your own journey, that is one of the main factors for getting out of a depressive state. You can then also go to bed feeling like a winner of your own relative achievement. And this helps reattach the emotional detachment that you've been feeling and start to apply value to the tasks and actions that you're taking in the day. And the last point is around the concept of momentum and progressive overload. Progressive overload is a concept from sports science, which simply means applying more stress than last time. As you apply apply more stress to the body, it adapts and is able to handle more and more weight, which means you get stronger, fitter, and more efficient. The same principles apply to your mental health. So when you've started showing up and internalizing each of those relative wins, you then start applying the concept of progressive overload. So where previously it was incredibly difficult to get out of bed and have a shower, you know you can do that now. So the next step is to get dressed and get out of the house. It doesn't matter what you do, you just leave the house, walk around for a bit, and if that feels like too much, then you leave it for the next day. But the fact is, you progressively overloaded your day, and you're building on this concept called momentum. So where one day it takes all of your effort to get out of the shower, in a couple of weeks' time, that will become relatively effortless as you progress through each action of your day. It then becomes easier to do the smaller things that you used to find extremely difficult. Another way to look at this is learning an instrument. If I was to simply put a grade 8 piece in front of you and you've never played the piano before, that is simply going to be unachievable. You don't have a concept of music theory, you can't sight read, and you also mechanically can't play the piano. So what you need to do is start at the basics and progressively build on those skills to eventually be able to play that grade 8 piece. And when you get to grade 8, grade 1 pieces feel incredibly easy. And through each step of the way, always internalize each of the wins that you're feeling. When you combine these 3 points, you will begin to reattach emotionally to your life. Tasks that used to be difficult suddenly become easy, and it doesn't happen overnight. You do have to apply these concepts every day for multiple weeks to really see a difference, which is why it's extremely important to start with the minimum possible achievement that you can actually achieve. If that is just getting out of bed, or that's going to work and doing the minimum that you need to do to get through, wherever your relative position is, start at the minimum and progressively increase the load that you're handling. One final consideration is where the momentum aspect starts to fall down. So these are days where something you could do yesterday now becomes too challenging today. It can become very easy to just give up despite the progress you were previously making. This is usually due to the shame and guilt that we're feeling as you get thoughts like, well, I used to be able to do this and now I can't. Why am I not good enough? What's wrong with me? When you start to have those challenges, you have to recognize that you're only human. You are not a perfect machine that is able to progress every single day. Even Olympic athletes have bad days. There are a very large amount of factors at play that is not just your capability, and all these external factors impact how much you can handle that day. So give yourself a break and just accept that you're allowed a bad day. Then it becomes a case of finding your new minimum possible achievement and building momentum from there. You might also find that you skipped a few of the stages that you used to find hard on days where you are feeling good. So just because you have a bad day, don't give up. Find your minimum possible achievement. So if you found these points helpful, hit that like button and subscribe. Also comment for the algorithm, and I'll see you next time.